Most men quit when the breakthrough was about to begin. I have walked this earth for a century, and I have seen the same tragedy repeat. Men chasing the sun only to stop when the first clouds roll in. They don't understand the law of the harvest or the debt of 18 months. Listen carefully to Mike. He will tell the story better than I can.
Okay, so if you've ever poured your heart and soul into a project, a business, maybe a new skill, only to find yourself right on the verge of quitting, then you really need to hear this. We're about to break down a powerful mental model that's like a secret map for getting through the absolute hardest part of any journey. This, right here, is the core idea that changes everything. Just think about that for a second. The exact moment most people give up is literally right before the magic happens. And you know what? It's not a coincidence, it's a predictable pattern. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds completely backward, doesn't it? But what it really means is that making the logical decision based on early results, looking at the numbers after a few months and saying, well, this isn't working, that can be the single biggest thing standing in the way of a massive breakthrough. To really see how this plays out, let's look at the story of a guy named Victor Chen. By the time he was 28, he was pretty much the poster child for failure. He was smart, he had plenty of passion, but he just kept hitting the same wall over and over again. So his first venture right out of college was a phone store. He had all this fire in his heart ready to go, but just 8 months later, the business was completely dead. So next, he tried an online service. Can you imagine working for an entire year, 12 long months, and having only $200 to show for it? The smart choice would be to quit, right? And yeah, that's exactly what he did. And the pattern just continued. A food delivery service, a clothing brand, a marketing agency, one after another, they all just failed. We're talking 6 different businesses, 6 straight failures. His friends with the steady corporate jobs, they kind of stopped calling. He was becoming an embarrassment. This was his rock bottom. Totally bankrupt, living with his parents, and his father was urging him to just be realistic and take a job at the family print shop. He was like a ghost, just haunted by his own ambition. But then, right there at his absolute lowest point, something shifted. He was working this menial job, and he met a millionaire mentor, a Mr. Joe, who didn't see a failure. He saw someone he recognized, and he gave Victor that secret map. This new perspective was just everything. Mr. Joe told him that he himself had failed 11 times before his first real success. He taught Victor that passion is crucial for sure, but without a map for the journey, it's really just expensive hope. And this was that secret map, the law of 18 months. Look, it isn't a guarantee of success, but it is a predictable timeline for what any real venture feels like. It reframes that struggle not as a sign you're failing, but as a necessary part of the process. So, here's how it works. Months 1 to 6 are for pure suffering. The pain is high, the pay is 0. This is where almost everybody quits. Then, from months 7 to 12, you start to see these tiny little sparks of progress, but it is still a deep struggle. Then, and only then, after a full year, does the real breakthrough even begin to take shape. So, armed with this new map, Victor decided to try just one more time. This was his 7th business, and he treated the initial struggle not as failure, but as a debt that he just had to pay to the 18-month timeline. 5 months in, he made $500. I mean, that's barely enough to survive. He was deep in that learning and suffering phase. And then, of course, A setback. He lost a client and his income fell right back down. He was stuck. This was a huge test. Was the map wrong? At month 8, he was right back where he started at month 5, just staring at $500. This is that moment of maximum doubt. All the external evidence, all that smart thinking is just screaming that it's time to stop. And that doubt became external. His own father told him he was just repeating the same pattern of failure. And that's the voice of the smart world, right? It's telling you to cut your losses. But Victor wasn't listening to that voice anymore. He was listening to the map.
But Victor kept going. He trusted the timeline. He knew he had to get through the struggle to reach the other side. And that's when everything started to change. Month 13, right on schedule. He landed his first real contract for $3,000. After more than a year of just grinding, this was the first sign that the breakthrough was real.
Just 2 months later, at month 15, that number quadrupled to $12,000. The momentum was finally, powerfully starting to kick in.
And then, right at the 18-month mark, he landed a massive, venture-backed client for $10,000 a month on retainer. He had paid his debt. The law had proven true.
So, what does Victor's journey mean for you? Well, it means reframing your entire perspective on what struggle is and what it means to be smart.
This is the ultimate realization. The struggle, the setbacks, the moments you want to quit, that isn't you getting lost. That is the path. Success is just about showing up one more time than you fell down.
So ultimately, you've got 2 choices. The smart choice is to listen to the early numbers, to listen to the doubt, and quit when it feels hard. The wise choice is to understand the timeline, to see the struggle as a necessary payment, and to actually finish the journey.
And that's the real question you should be asking yourself. The world will always tell you to be smart, to be realistic. But the real breakthroughs, they often belong to those who are foolish enough to ignore that advice and simply see it through.
Passion without preparation is just expensive hope. Success is showing up one more time than you fell down. Do not be smart enough to walk away, because being too smart will keep you bankrupt. But be foolish enough to finish the 18 months.